Hello everybody and welcome to the Mars 445 How to Play video. We are going to take you through setup for a 3-player game. We are going to show you all the moves that you can make. We're going to play a sample game and then we're going to do scoring. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is select the color. In each deck, you're going to have 51 cards. The 51st card is your reference card, which is used for scoring. Actually, I will take this opportunity to say the goal of this game is to build a Mars colony, and a full Mars colony is made up of 4 different modules in various amounts. The power module, you need 3 of those. You need 2 science modules. You need 1 exploration module, and you need 1 resource module. We'll come back to this later. Okay, the rest of your cards, 50 cards, there are all these lovely colors, 4 different kinds of modules. Right, basic setup. Oh, actually, let's shuffle up our cards. Shuffle, shuffle. Shuffling. When you get to setup, this is what you do. 15 cards, face down. These cards are your supplies. Next, 3 cards, face up. These are your shelves, 3 shelves. The rest of your cards, these are your hand. And before we get into what we're doing with our setup here, oh, the other thing, this is the factory floor. This is where everybody plays and builds modules at the same time. So here's the important thing. Everything that we tell you you can do happens at the same time. There's no turns in this game. It's just play when you can play. So your hand, let's talk about your hand. The way you use your hand, you take the top 3 cards face down off the top, flip them over. And you take the next 3 and you flip them over, and you will continue to do this. This is how you use your hand. You will continue to do this until you get to the end. Now, let's say you get to the end and you have 2 cards, or 1 card, but less than 3. You're going to just flip them all over, and that's the end. What you do now is you just take your hand of face-up cards, pick them up, turn them over, and you'll start over. That's how your hand basically works. Now, legal moves. There are, well, let's call it building modules on the factory floor. There are 2 ways to get cards onto the factory floor. Let's get an example here. Okay, there are 2 ways. You can always start a module with a 1. So you can move a 1 from your shelves to the factory floor, or you can move a 1 from your face-up hand to the factory floor. The other thing you can do is you can move a card of the same color onto an existing module. So in this case, I can play a yellow 2 onto this yellow 1. BJ can do the same thing. I can also play, for example's sake, I can play a blue 1. I can play that. Now, and BJ can play that. Right, now, that's legal moves into the middle of the table. Now, we have some empty shelves that we need to deal with. There are 2 ways that you can add cards to an empty shelf. Excellent. So, way number 1, take a face top card from your supplies, turn it over. Ooh, I'm just going to take that. We'll get back to this launch card in a second. So, face up card from the top of your shelves over here. That's one way. Sorry, face down card from your supplies to your empty shelf. The other way is a launch card from your face-up hand into an empty shelf. That is the other way that you can fill a shelf. So there are 2 ways to do it. From here, launch card from here. Now, the other thing you can do is you can move cards around your shelves, as long as they are a different color and they are in descending order. So over here in BJ's cards, you have a red 3 and a green 4. BJ can move his red 3 on top of the green 4. Now, if BJ wanted to play this green 4 onto this green module, he would have to play this red 3 first before he could play any card that was underneath it. So BJ actually wouldn't make that move. You can move any cards within your shelves as long as they are of different color. You can have 2 of the same color within a column as long as they are not next to each other. Now, let's talk about the launch card. When we finish a module on the factory floor, it's finished by playing a launch card. So this has been sitting here for a while, but when you play a launch card onto a module, that means the module is complete. You will immediately remove the module from the board and add it to your scoring pile, which brings us back to our reference card. You will have a complete colony, and you can end the round when you have all of these modules in your colony. However, you do not have to have just this amount. There are more modules that you can win in a round than just these 7. So you can score more points if you want to. However, if you call launch and end the round, you get a 5-point bonus. So that is something to consider when you get to the end of a round. What we are going to do now is we are going to play a sample game, and we're going to speed it up a bit just for the sake of this video, and then we will get into scoring. So let's do that. All right, ready?
Ready.
Go. Yeah, we don't care about these cards anymore. Just crush them. Nobody cares. Nobody's worried about it.
It's not my fault.
Launch.
Oh, hold on. Okay, so when somebody calls launch, this is what we do. We take all the cards in the middle, and this is called the waste file, and this will be used for scoring in a moment. We then take any cards left over in our shelf, any cards left over in our supplies, which I don't have any left in my supplies. I don't think any of us have supplies left. So if there were any supplies, we would take them out. We take anything left in our hand, and they're all placed off to the side. Oh, those are part of the hand. Those are no longer a part of scoring. You will then take your colony, and you will separate your launch cards from your colony cards. So you should end up with 2 stacks of cards. One of them all launch cards, and the rest are your colony cards. Now, the points you scored, your colony is worth a number of points, and it's equal to the sum of all the launch cards in your colony. Now, the catch to this game is you can be sabotaged, and we need to find out if we were sabotaged. To do that, you take your colony cards, turn them over, and separate by color. The goal in this case is to have the most cards in your colony. If you don't, you give 10 points to anybody that has more cards in your colony. If you tie goes to the colony owner, so to speak. Okay, so in my case, I have 21 colony points. I have 8 of my own cards in my colony. I've got 4 of BJ's and 3 of Aiden's. So I have the most. That means I get to keep all of my points. Now, a sample break, the basic breakdown of points are, it's made up of 4 things. You get a 5-point bonus for calling launch, which in this case, Aiden would get that bonus. You get your base colony points. You get addition or subtraction of any sabotages. So if you sabotage somebody, you get 10 of their points. If you were sabotaged, you give up 10 of your points. There's also the waste pile, which is this, which we will separate in a moment. But for right now, did anybody get sabotaged?
No.
No.
Oh, well, that's boring. So I have 21 points. How many points do you have, BJ?
26. I have 26 points.
Aiden, how many points did you score?
I had 43.
Oh, that's disgusting. Okay, so we now have our base points. We are now going to separate the waste pile. Now, here's how the waste pile works. Whoever has the most cards on the waste pile or is tied for the most cards on the waste pile, which is not a good start for me. Oh boy. You get minus 5 points if you have the most cards on the waste pile. Now, we don't need to count this because I'm pretty sure I have 9 cards. Aiden has 7, and BJ has not more than me. So, I get minus 5 points for wasting the most in this round. So to recap, my score, I have no points for calling launch. I have 21 points from my colony cards. I have no sabotages, either positive or negative, and I get minus 5 points for the waste. So my score for this round would be 16 points. What did you guys score for this round?
I started with 43 points for my colony. I gained 5 points for calling launch, so I have 48. I don't take a penalty for sabotage, and I don't take a penalty for waste, so 48 points.
BJ?
I got 26 points. I did not get 5 points for calling launch. I did not lose 5 points for wasting. I did not sabotage anyone, and I did not get sabotaged, so I get to keep all my points.
What's your total?
26 points.
Thank you.
So at the end of round 1,
16 to 26 to who cares what you got. We will then... honestly, who cares what Aiden got? Okay, then give everybody back their cards. Thank you, Aiden.
Thank you.
You will then set up again and keep playing rounds until somebody has scored 150 total points. And that point total is adjustable if you want to play a longer or shorter game. And that is how you play Mars 445.